be a little quiet, okay? So you don't disturb mommy, okay?
Who's the car there?
You know that's Sandy's car. But mommy's getting ready do a
I'm playing with my cars now.
Okay, just don't be too loud, okay? All right. Grand risings to all the righteous redeemed remnant in the earth. First and foremost to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered, to the 12 tribes of the Most High scattered all over this earth. And greetings and shalom and salutations to the Gentiles that clean and the righteous mindset of servitude. Appreciate you all for your service. You know how they say to the Americans, thank you for your service, soldiers. Thank you for your service. I really appreciate you all and your sacrifice. Just trying to get some bookmarks in my stuff before I get things going here. All right. We're going to be getting things started. Just give me some patience. I pray everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm sure you're wondering why the screen's not looking at my face. Well, because I'm not giving my face to be read right now. I don't want anybody looking at my face. Especially those witches trying to curse. I'm not playing with them. So, I'm going to go into prayer. Thank the Father for another wonderful day He has given us, which every day He has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. And so through the precious gift that Yeshua gave to us, we have authority and the ability to walk with power. Hallelujah. And to do greater works than He did. I'm just so grateful for the Most High and all that He done for us. All right. So I want to start off with prayer, as we should do, because going on this web, World Wide Web, we're going amongst not just those who are hungry, but it's like going amongst in the world, the outdoor world. This internet is no different than walking outside. But I have much respect and love. And I want to say right now to anyone, whether we agree or disagree, to anyone who has put themselves out there, be it on the phone, be it via walking around on internet, however you feel the means that you have put yourself out there to be a minister and to edify and bring out truth. I say truth. I want to say to you, to my fellow servants out there and laborers, salute to you and continue to do what you're doing. If it's for the glory of the Most High, I pray for those who labor and for those who reap. And I also pray for people who are just right now, they don't know much about religion, or they never encountered the opportunity to come upon this good gift that others have, and they just found themselves on the wicked side. I pray that you get some help as well. because it's sometimes not everyone's fault that they grew up in a household of witches and warlocks, and they just need someone to show them the way. Maybe sometimes they don't want to be witches. They don't like being wicked. I don't know how anyone could live comfortably with wickedness. It's not a comfortable feeling. It shouldn't be. After all, everything the Father created was for good. So anyone that uses anything he created for bad, there's going to be a bad consequence and a bad outcome for you. After all, it's not going to be able to affect those you're trying to affect. It's allergy season, family. Don't touch that, baby. Don't touch that. It's going to mess up. So I would recommend you all don't just solely rely on allergy medicines, but rely on making sure sometimes you start off your day and end your night with bitter teas. Ginger, turmeric, garlic, green tea, ginseng, black seed oil, honey, just to guard yourself within this allergy season. For we know that some allergy symptoms could be deemed as a possible symptom of this famous COVID-19. We are now seeing confusion of face on the nations. So hence I'm going to go forward in prayer, silently. Hallelujah, so be it. All right. I'm going to do a detour really quick. Just got an instruction. So I'm going to go there. And I'll share it as I'm led. Just stand by because I don't think this vessel that's on here is a righteous vessel anyway. Oh, okay. All praise you. All right. Now, that was for me. Going forward. So, I'm going to start off with Genesis chapter 22, verse 18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So the blessing came to Abraham.
Mommy, I want something to eat.
What? Daddy's getting breakfast sandwiches, Zebby. I don't know what's taking him so long. You want a banana till he comes? You want oatmeal? All right. It's important that you eat what I provide you before I go live, because I don't need a home to be left unguarded, and then y'all shop and keep your precious angels guarding it over my absence, as I know that you are. So I'm preparing Zebediah right now, some oatmeal. This is the means for this pause. Not addressing the one individual who's watching. I'm addressing those who are of the fold. Spies don't matter to me. Here you go, Zebediah. Get your oatmeal. You say yes, ma'am. Now, back to the lesson. So the Most High, the Creator, told Abraham that the nations of the earth would be blessed through him, through Abraham and his seed. It didn't say seeds, it said seed. That's only acknowledging Isaac and the seed of Isaac. Jacob and the seed of Jacob. So that promise continued on because Abraham obeyed the voice of the Most High. And he obeyed his word, which is the same as his voice. So the blessing for the nations being blessed is they have to obey the voice of the chosen. They don't obey the voice of the chosen and their instructions for a blessing, they will not receive. This very passage right here, Genesis 22:18, was something that the nations thought they could get around. And they've only found confusion of face. These nations are now dealing with death in a numerous amount, and they have no clue. They have no clue what to do. One minute they were telling people not to wear masks. Now it's mandatory that you wear a mask to go in every store. If it was really about health conscience, why haven't cigarette smokers been banned to smoke out in public places? I don't care about no smoking on the side, this and the third. There should have been laws made for cigarette smokers to simply just smoke within your own car or smoke in your own house. Don't come out the door with their cigarettes. If you're talking about a respiratory virus, those who don't care about their own health are more of a threat than those who don't believe in vaccinations. But that's not clearly the real reason why these so-called health administrators are making these rules. You have now nurses coming out, being voices of other nurses, confessing that Hospitals are literally killing people. Their main targets are those of Genesis chapter 22, verse 18. The seed of Abraham. That is the real chosen people of Abraham. Not no Jewish people, and not those who are clinging onto Christianity. You're not even his children if you are on and clinging to Christianity. You are not of his fold. Because everything of Christianity is opposing to the word of the Most High. All forms of idolatry, all forms of doctrine of man, yeah, and they're fleeing now. All kinds of wickedness. So if Israel was cursed, no. If the children of the Most High became Israel by following after Baal, no longer Jacob, the servant of the Most High, they thought if we rename them, then that promise won't apply to them anymore. This is what they've done to our people all through the story in the word of the Most High. They thought they could rename because a person's name in the Bible, people would name their children after either a prophecy or their purpose. What name you was given would basically form and shape your life. And what is very quite interesting to me is that they thought what they changed could not be unchanged. They actually thought that they were the Most High on earth. Isaiah 14 is very interesting when you look and see, is this the man, after mentioning Lucifer, who has weakened the nations, but Abraham, him through his seed, the nations were supposed to be blessed. So the blessings that these nations have is not through the blessings of Abraham, because Abraham obeyed the Creator by leaving his father's house and his idolatry and his father's doctrines. That's why the Father chose him. This is why Abraham was chosen. Because before he even was called to leave, he was already questioning. I love it. I love how these little heathens can't sit still trying to tune into this. I love it. So beautiful. Abraham was already questioning the worship of paganism. And the Father blessed him and said, your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. The nations didn't like that. The nations wanted to create their own religion, which they were already in, because they were already rejected. If we're looking in a story where the Creator chose Abraham to give his blessing to, and then we hear of stories of Abraham begot so. The whole book is written about Abraham. Where did it ever describe that you could be of another nation, of another doctrine, and receive the blessing? The blessing that he's talking about was the truth of wisdom and knowledge, which you can find in Psalms and Proverbs, which is supposed to be more valuable than gold. The wisdom of this world is obviously foolish. They'll tell you one week to put on a mask, and then the next week they tell you it's illegal if you come in any stores without a mask. Confusion of faces on the nations. For they tried to resist the chosen seed to become who they were supposed to be and stay in their rightful place. because these nations didn't want to be under them. Let us to read Deuteronomy 28 in a different perspective. Because if you're coming from a mindset of an evangelical and you heard from the camps reading Deuteronomy 28, you will read their demeanor and think, oh, this is hate crime. Oh, this is hatred. So allow me to read it to you in a way that maybe you can relate. After all, the words won't change. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High. Same thing he said to Abraham in Genesis chapter 22, verse 18. Shalom, beloved Jasmine, welcome. I have turned the camera because I'm not letting these little simpleton witches get a good old glance at my face. They can look at the grass for all I care. Look at the good old-fashioned creation. They ain't going to have much long to look at it anyhow. It will be destroyed in 1 hour when the Most High sends his decree. So the first verse, beloved, was, you don't have to put it up if you can, if you want. That's up to you. It's Genesis chapter 22, verse 18. And I'm going to read that since you just came, and then I'll go back to Deuteronomy 28, because I was getting ready to give these Gentiles a whole new perspective of how they done pulled the plug on their own selves. They cannot be mad at us. And he's giving me this lesson to share because they continue to refuse to see the fact that they bit the hand that was supposed to feed them. I'm speaking to the nations. Genesis chapter 22, verse 18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of your Most High, your Ishiohim, the Almighty, the Creator, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High, the Almighty, will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. So if we was to do what he said, to keep his commandments, he would set us on high above all the nations. So the nations found it, over there in Psalms 83, to keep us from these commandments, only so that we could not be made on high. There's no equality here. There's no civil rights over here. You will not find any civil rights in the Bible. We're all equal. We're human beings. No. He told the children of his chosen seed that if you do what I tell you, I will set you on high above all nations. He told Abraham that the nations shall be blessed in your seed, which means in your children that I chosen, if they do what the chosen say, they will be blessed. If they rebel against, afflict, and harass my children, they will be cursed. So as we're going to go through Deuteronomy 28, we're going to check off every list we see that is now taking part in these nations. Already on the list is most certainly confusion of face. They don't know whether they're coming or they're going, and they have not an answer for it. The very government in which the people relied on, make America great again, they're now wondering if America is going to even stand. Meanwhile, the Creator's laughing, and I certainly laugh with him because it is quite amusing to me. Verse 2 of Deuteronomy 28. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High, your Almighty. See, this was the same thing he was saying to Abraham. I'm going to bless your seed. And so Abraham chose to obey, but our ancestors fell off. Yeah, we can admit we're not going to beat our ancestors up no more. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to beat them up no more. Because guess what? They drank from the cup. We're drinking from the cup. Okay? We're coming out. We're nearly done. And you can see quite clearly here that these nations who were supposed to receive the blessing, it would have been all right and dandy if you would have did if we would have did what the Father said, then in turn they would have been doing what we say, and then the whole earth would have been blessed. Well, because the adversary of the Most High thought upon himself to create a kingdom of wickedness on this earth, and every single Gentile ruler who did not do what the Messiah did, which was in the wilderness of temptation, they took on what Satan offered them. They took the wealth and the kingdoms and the rulership, and they also took the deal he gave them too, which was to keep everything opposing of the Most High's laws, to go against the Creator by any means necessary. Verse 3, blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. So for everybody who keeps his commandments, you'll be blessed in the city, blessed in the field. Whether you're a city worker or field worker, you'll be blessed. Now let's read the opposite of that. To the nations who offset and agreed to Satan's contract, those who are under the blood of the covenant of Satan by agreeing to shed the blood of his chosen. Cursed are you going to be in your cities, and cursed are you going to be in your fields. And these curses are now being read to the nations. And any of his chosen who have not come out of the curses, who have not repented, who are not seeking repentance. Verse 4, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and flocks of thy sheep. To the nations, cursed shall be the fruit of your body, the fruit of your ground, the fruit of your cattle, the increase of thy kin, and of thy flocks and of thy sheep. A caution to any of the chosen seed. If you have not been blessed with uncursable land where you're growing your own vegetables, raising your own cattle, if you rely on this very oppressor that you're under, then you're no better. Unless you're keeping his commandments, then whatever you touch of the cursed thing, it shall be blessed. Just like we were over there in Goshen during the times of Egypt. The Egyptians dealt with the plagues, but the chosen didn't. Although they might have been minorly affected, Abba still sustained them, just like with Noah and his family in the ark. Yes, the waters beat up against the ark and tossed it to and fro, and it could even cause you what they call ocean sickness. But he didn't die. So these curses and these plagues that are affecting these nations may cause a little slight of it might be like a little world ocean and the waves beating up against your ark, but you're going to be all right. To the chosen, the true chosen seed of Most High, the Almighty Creator, the melanated, righteous, chosen people, not the people over there in the landmass calling it Israel, which is after El, which is Baal. They done named the landmass after Baal. They destroyed the holy temple and his people. But the Mashiach said he will resurrect it in 3 days. In about 3.5 years, we begin to wake up as a nation. And the building of his body is beginning to take place and is already taking place. Blessed shalt thou be when you comest in, and blessed shall you be when you goeth out. So if you come into the realization of who you are as a chosen people, don't just read the curses to wake you up. Go back over these blessings and declare them over your life. Speak them over your household. Bless when you go out and bless when you come in. That's right. You don't really need a mask. Now, to not be in compliance with the laws of this land, put the mask on. But in the back of your mind, laugh at the folly because you know simply the Most High is thy keeper. A mask for the Gentiles is really where their faith lies. They really believe this mask and possibly vaccinations will keep them. That's all they know. It's drugs and a sickening diet and paganism. That's all they know. It was mentioned over here in Job chapter 9:24. I'm going to get that really quick. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If the ones who have the earth, who are ruling the earth, are not the wicked, then who the heck is the wicked? You know why that question appeared there? Because the very wicked were trying to paint their faces as the righteous. The white man wanted to be the face of every character in the Bible, via movie, via books, so forth and so on. Paintings. That tells you right there in Job 9:24, they are the wicked. We're not to be sitting here like the Gentiles with a confused face on what truth is. Truth is in the word of the Creator. Truth is not in your Sunday preacher, because the Most High never called for us to keep Sunday as a holy day. That's the institution of them keeping Sunday. If they really believe, since Christ, as they say, died, and you can keep every day as a holy day, then why aren't they worshiping on every day? Why don't they gather on every day then? Why aren't they laboring in the truth of the Most High's word every day? Because that's the cap. That's the lie. Their father is, who in Revelations 3:9 is identified as the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. See, that precept is the same as Job 9:24. Who is the rulership of, who is ruling the earth right now? Who is the main ruling power right now? Surely not the black man. We're the victims of their cruelty. We're the faces of death constantly. We're the mocked ones. We're the ones they crucify day in and day out. We're the ones they're using this very thing to swipe off the earth. Because the truth is within us. Lies are within them. Back to Deuteronomy 28. And the Most High shall curse thine enemies. This mainly was the reason why they do not want you keeping anything in this book. They want to try to pollute it and keep you calling on pagan terms. So even though you think you're keeping it, you're calling on their names, and they're sitting back laughing. And if you want to say, you know what, because I don't know what names, I'll just say Creator or Father in your Savior's name. Even that is safe. You don't need a Hebrew translation for Father and to say Savior's name. You really don't. You can say that. And the Most High shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before you the 7 ways. This is also a reminder that we must bring before the Father when we're keeping his commandments, statutes, and judgments. Thank you, Zebediah. Every time you do what the Father say, Father, any of our enemies that try to come up against us via vaccinations, via doctrines, via reporting our channels or whatever they're trying to do, Father, cause them to flee 7 ways. Speak it with authority. because the prayer of a righteous man availeth much, and you will see these devils flee. And if you catch the thief, they must return. I'm a living testimony of it. He did it for me yesterday. You remember Sister Jasmine? Excuse me, Yasmin. We was on here with the children, and these devils reported my channel. And me and the children went to prayer against them. And Abba had that very video be given back to me on my cell phone. You can't find it on my channel, but it's on my phone. Abba gave it back to me because I sent warring angels against the wicked ones. We must, before prayer, fighting, we must understand the fight. We must understand your power. Exactly, beloved. That's exactly what happened. And I put up a video exposing and rebuking it with the evidence on my phone that the video was being played. So always remember now, if you are keeping the commandments, you now have a badge of authority. Yes, we are, beloved. Deuteronomy 28, verse 7. Put it on your refrigerator. Whenever you feel any anger or any character or any feeling of sickness or whatever come upon you, you say, Father, this is an adversary against your temple because your temple is holy, set apart unto you. And this temple cannot be in service to you if it is down or broken or out of order. So in the mighty name of Yahshua, or in the mighty name of your servant, your Savior, cause every adversary, deity, and spirit, that's right, sis, to flee 7 ways. And the 7 that came with them. The Most High shall command, he shall command a blessing. You hear this, family? When you listen, if you hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High, observe to do all his commandments, which he command you, he will, verse 8, command a blessing upon you and in your storehouses and in all that you set your hand to do. He will bless it in the land which the Most High giveth you. Just like he told Abraham, everywhere the sole of your feet touch, I will give you. If you are blessed, everywhere your feet touch, it's yours. It's got to turn to a blessed land because your feet is on it. And everything around it must come into compliance of the blessing he commanded on your life. See, family, we've heard Deuteronomy 28 in the cursed way. It's time to eat of it in the blessed way. Because after all, these curses don't belong to us no more. So we are not to identify with these curses anymore. Identify yourself with the blessings. We've heard it in church. Oh, blessed coming in, blessed going out. But we wasn't blessed coming in, blessed coming out. You can even look at the white schools versus the black schools today. Obviously, something was wrong here. What was it? Our people were cursed. Every time we set our hands to do something, it wouldn't prosper. No matter how we tried to come together, it didn't work. And it still won't work if we're not coming from underneath these curses by obedience to the Father's word. If we don't hearken diligently to the voice of his Most High. Because when we get to this chapter, it covers everything. The Most High shall establish thee and a holy people unto himself. Then you are back to being his people. Every single silly little Christian can run up to them Jewish people all they want to. They are not the chosen seed. They are not. And argue with us all you want to. Every time you argue with us, you're going to realize you're biting the hand that was supposed to feed you. You're trying to put the light out. And those that try to put the light out, go have their lights out. As he has sworn to thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High and walk in his ways. How more clear could it be? He said, walk in his ways, not Constantine, not in pastor's ways, not in mama daddy ways, not in auntie them ways, but his ways. Who was he talking to in Deuteronomy 28? Is he talking to the whole world? He's talking to his chosen. Things got to be established here. In order for the blessing of Genesis 22:18 to apply to the nations, that means Deuteronomy 28 got to get reversed. You can't be blessed if you're still receiving a blessing from the wicked one. You can't be blessed while still being wicked. He said it to us. If it applied to us, if you shall obey my voice and keep my word, I will bless you. To those who the earth has been given to, you wicked ones, and the wicked benefits thereof. You don't get this wicked earth and the kingdom to come. You're going to have to pick and choose. And just like Moses, who decided to rather suffer with his people than to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, you're going to have to choose to suffer with his people, to the Gentile nations. And not suffer where you feel like, okay, this is too much. I ain't going to deal with this person because you done said something to me I didn't like. Guess what? You didn't die yet. You ain't ready to serve yet. You got a problem with being questioned. You got a problem with being interviewed. You got a problem with somebody trying to figure you out. As his child, what type of problem you think you're going to have with the Creator? You ain't getting around it, you Gentile nations. What is this all about? What are you saying, Hadassah? Because some people may got me confused. They may think that because I spiritually understand the laws, that I'm saying, oh, Esau's not Edom, or the wicked can be wicked, and all they can be my brother, sister, and all they believe in word. Guess what? A servant's still a servant. It don't change. If I call you brother or sister, that's because I identify you by your works as being my brother and sister according to your works. But to do his will, you need to really make sure what his will is for your life. If his will for your life is to be a doormat, be that doormat and don't question the ones walking on it. If your purpose for his life is to polish the kingdom doors, and do it with cheer. Period. If you ever think for a slight second that you're going to receive the benefits of the inherited ones, you are sadly mistaken. The blessings that you get was simply obeying our voices, doing what we're teaching y'all to do, and stop listening to your daddy and your mommy, because your daddy and mommy taught you wrong, just like our mommy and daddy. But the Father, the Creator, gave instructions for you nations, and you hard-headed, stiff-necked nations want to continue to remind of us of how we were stiff-necked, but you failed to realize and see where you fell short, how you ran off with the plug. Bring the plug back. Let me plug it in and show you the way. Because I'm getting very sick and tired of Christians leaving comments on my videos, and not just on my videos, but walking around this earth with this proud mindset that you got it all and you really got nothing. Deuteronomy 28, verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by thy name. See, then shall see earth. Now he's talking about the earth, while acknowledging his children. I'm going to read it again. And all people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Most High, not Baal. And they shall be afraid of thee. What they going to be? They're going to be afraid of you. That's a sign when he's with you. Even the animals are doing it. I'm telling you, mark the word, family. He told you over there in Isaiah 43, even the animals, the dragons and the beasts of the field and the owls shall obey me. Not a dog shall move their tongue against my children. It's all up in his word. He didn't say of the people of the earth who simply believe. How you going to believe, Christians, lest you believe on those who he sent? Just like we had to believe on who he sent, which was his son. We had to believe on the word. You have to believe on our testimony. It is what it is. No other Gentile is going to lead you the way. And the Most High shall make thee plenteous in goods. I want to read verse 10 one more time to drill it all the way home. If you could please put that up for me, sis. Deuteronomy 28, verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the Most High, and they shall be afraid of thee. They're afraid of the wicked ones now. Those Christians really think them Jewish people are the people. When the whole earth is afraid of us, then you know what time it is. And I guess what? They already are. This is why they're coming up with this virus. Instead of them being afraid of us and allowing that fear to cause them to come into humility and subjection, they choose to kill us all. So what is the Father going to do to them? You better believe it. And the Father's slaughter is far worse than you can ever imagine. And the Most High shall make thee plenteous in goods and in the fruit of thy body. So the fruit of your body, your children, he going to make you good. He going to bless your children. I woke up this rising and I said, I commanded my generations after my children shall keep the commandments. That's what I speak. I speak that my children's children shall obey the Most High's words. You know what I just did? By declaring them keeping his word, declared a blessing. They must obey. I speak it into them. You will obey. I'm going to train you how to obey. Like I said, it's a rock. Ecclesiastes. Because train them to bow down their heads from their youth. Teach them right now. Just like when them devils came and snatched our video yesterday while trying to share tips for mothers and fathers and grandparents and families how to righteously engage your children on the Shabbat. And what did those witches and devils do? Snatch it down. And what did me and the children do? Go to war. And what did Abba do? Return it back. It's quite simple. Don't let these devils get you. When y'all may see me all up loud and rah, don't think I'm in the upset of defeat. I'm in war. You understand me? And when I go in war, I don't talk like shalom family and all that. Nah. Because when you're speaking power, it sometimes comes out like rushing mighty winds or rushing mighty waters. So please don't read me wrong. Trust and believe me. And as I'm rebuking them, the peace within me is that they're being rebuked. That's the shalom I get. To know how to fight and to know how to put a guard up against the wicked. And to know as I speak it, because I know I'm living according to this, that it's going to be activated. My faith is in what I walk in with my Father. My faith is in my obedience. That's where your courage is at, family. Obey him. If you shall hearken unto the voice of the Most High and observe to do all his commandments, which he command me, verse 7, he shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. You're going to see their fall. Can't you see it now? Aren't we watching the enemies fall now? After all, he was all about separation. He showed it to us in the ark. He told Noah that let every animal be with its kind, and the unclean be over here, and the clean be over here. If he told his people that you are unto me, what was he saying about the other nations? Y'all are unclean. It is what it is. That's right, sis. Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child the way they should go, and when he is old, they will not depart from me. So what does these other school systems try to do? Untrain what you train. And they want to have more hours with your child than you do. So their untraining can have more effect than you. And guess what the Most High did with that? Shut it down. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Abba, shut it down. That was also my prayers as well. Shut down these doctrination schools and these doctrination camps, Father. These wicked hospitals who are practicing sorcery on your children, Father. Shut them down, Abba. Shut down these Kabbalist rituals, Father, that they get not their hands on another one of your children. Shut them down. Shut down the food industry who wants to approve things that are not approvable and not approve things that should be approved. Shut them down, Father. This is what time it is, family. Time to shut these devils down and make his enemies and our enemies flee 7 ways. In other words, in your mind, I want your thoughts to flee all through your brain. I want your stupid, wicked ideas to be scatterbrained in your mind. Just like you try to snatch my good idea when I was trying to find out how many times was I am written in the word. I want the same thing to happen to you every time you come up with a wicked idea. Confusion. Confusion. I speak upon the enemies. Distraughtness. They don't know if they're coming or going, Father. I speak all the Deuteronomy 28 curses upon our enemies. Hallelujah. So be it. Verse 11. And the Most High shall make thee plenteous in goods, and the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Most High sware unto thy father to give thee. He sware to give us land. It says fathers. If there's fathers, that means every father has his own portion of land for his inheritance. So that means we are owed more than just the continent of Africa. They owe us more than that, family. They want us to only think Africa belongs to us. No, this whole earth belongs to us. Because guess what? Last I checked, the children of the chosen are scattered to the four corners. And if the children from the four corners repent, where they set their foot at, the promise of Abraham is activated. And the enemies of those chosen, repentant, righteous ones must come unto subjection, no matter where you are. The blessing is activated, the curse is removed. It's as simple as obedience. Obedience, family. Obey outside of your own understanding. It's not boring to be modest. It's not boring to be righteous. It's not boring to be set apart. It's making you set above. If you still with them, you not set on high. Martin Luther King fought for civil, what they call civil, with the uncivil people. They're not civil. They're unmoral. They're brute beast. It's their nature. They cannot help it. So what do, family? Come out from amongst them, physically, spiritually, mentally, and socially. Time to embrace and a time not to embrace. They want to serve you. Thank you. Hallelujah. Keep your distance. Do not think that you can come up on royalty any kind of way. Do you see any of the civilians or the people who live in Britain running up on Queen Elizabeth, that wicked woman? Are they allowed to go up to her and shake her hand? Well, guess what? How much more are the royal of the Most High, the Creator? How much more are we than that wicked woman over there? They better, Gentiles, get this in your mind. You need to think like this. Because if you don't think like this, you're going to be put in subjection to think like this, or you're going to be put to death. The Father's not playing with y'all. This is not a place of opinion or understanding. It's beyond you. And this is not anger. This is not me. This is sternness. This is solidness. And it must come off this way. Because for so long, y'all have rocked our people to sleep with your soft, mellow lullabies. And I'm snatching my brothers and sisters out of the sunken place by any means necessary. And to get them out the sunken place is to put you in the sunken place. Because we can't be on high unless you're brought down very low. Period. That's the way you gotta go. He said, I'm gonna bless your cattle. Your cattle, your meat gonna be okay to eat. Yeah, I know you might have got it from this market and that market, but guess what? As soon as your hand touched it, you law keeper, you obedient seed, it's blessed. Don't matter what the companies did. His blessings override their cursing. His sacrifice of redemption overrides their covenants of curses. Don't beat yourselves up, married couples. If you went out there and got married under the constitution of the state being a third party, when the Most High said the Son to set you free, he came and let them know you got to move over. You're not the ruler no more. They, out of their own confession of their mouth, confess me to be their most high, their master, and their savior. So guess what? I'm saving them from your nonsense. Because a lot of saving is things you cannot see before it actually becomes the physical. There are some things that we did as a people in the sleep of this oppression that the Father had already set for that was going to be approved. He already made, can you think about it, family? He already, his plan B already override plan A before plan A was destroyed. That's the Most High we serve. That's the Creator we serve. Blessings was already ready to give to you. He started off with Deuteronomy 28 with, I'll bless you. He didn't start it off with curses. So once you come back to him, what happens, family? You're blessed. You and your household is blessed. When you repent for the sins of your forefathers, it's undone. It's undoing their sins. Do you understand 1 Peter 2:9? But you are a chosen generation, a peculiar people who was called out of darkness into that marvelous light. That you who was once dead could be living, speak against the curses of the dead. Come on, that's resurrection power right there. You're raising your ancestors up from out of the curses by your obedience, because he said, I'll show mercy unto those from the father to the 34th generation. No. He said, I will visit the iniquity of the fathers to the 34th generation of those that hate me. But if you love him, he going to visit the 34th generations with blessings. Come on, family. You got to walk this thing out and believe this thing and declare it and declare it and receive it. Because the thief can't steal no more. Any enemy, any sickness, any lack, any poverty, if it tries to torment you, it is illegal. And you must speak against it. Say, wait a minute, hold up. I'm an obedient child of the Most High Creator. And I'm going to serve you your notice. You got to flee from me. Wicked imagination. You got to flee from me. Divorce. You got to flee from me. Lack. Now, must always go into the Father and seek if it's his will for you, because some things he's taken from you, he didn't want you to have. Not everything that we have deemed as a blessing is actually a blessing. After all, you can look at the story of Jacob. We was wrestling with that wicked man. It wasn't the Creator. It wasn't no angel of the Most High. That thing told you out of his own mouth it was a servant of Esau. None of the righteous angels would be servants of Esau, because the Most High was not dealing with Esau. And they think they slick. They're not slick. Find that in Genesis 33, I believe, verse 48. Let me see. Let me go over there. I ain't got nothing else to do. Go right on over there. Or is it 36? Because if you read Genesis 35, check this out, verse 10. And the Most High, now it says here, G-O-D, said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called Jacob anymore Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and the company of nations be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. What's wrong with this prophecy right here? He's being named after Baal. So what blessing was that, family? Let me tell you something right now. Do you know how many people receive decorated curses from out of their pastor prophesying on them? My mother was a victim of it. A man told her, you're going to get married. Last year, or the year before last, he told her you were going to get married around your birthday time. She was praying for her husband. Guess what? My father's still alive. The word don't change. Yeah, he might have did commit adultery, but she said, even if you separate from him, you're supposed to remain unmarried. You're supposed to remain unmarried. This man that was prophesied to my mother's life was a homosexual and a daggone crackhead. Now you tell me who prophesied into her life. what was that? A blessing or a curse? And guess who had to deliver and fight her to get out of that mess? I did. Had to literally fight a 6.4, almost, or 5'9", however tall that devil was, beating on my mother. And she thought, oh, this is from the Most High. I'm trying to tell you, family, majority of these are brothers and sisters who keep on eating out of the hand of doctrine and idolatry. Most High, just like he did with that one king of Israel, when he deceived the prophet, deceived the king and spoke through the prophets and told him, he said, the spirit said, I know what I'll do. I'll get in one of the prophets and deceive him. You keep on turning away from the Most High's commandments and what he told you to do, he gonna get in somebody and tell you something that what you think is a blessing is a decorated curse. That's all it is. Because he never identified Israel as his servant. All through the scriptures, you see Israel being identified as rebellious, idolaters. But in Isaiah 44, verse 2, you see Yeshurun being his chosen. Now, what they tell you? Why we ain't being called Yeshurun? Why ain't nobody teach us about this? Why they still calling us after Baal? When they add the lights, it's like you're being enlightened by Baal. It's like you're Eve being intrigued of that forbidden knowledge. Yeah, you're going to get some knowledge, all right. But is it of the fathers? Because Matthew 7, verse 22. What's that, Matthew? Let me see. So it must be Matthew 7, verse 22. Okay. Matthew 7, verse 22 states, they're going to say to him, I did all this in your name. This, that, and the third in your name. Peep this. Matthew 7, 22. Many will say, notice he said many will say, and over there in Matthew 24, he said many false prophets. So the many false prophets, this is their direct declaration over there on the judgment day. That same many going to be over here saying, many will say to me in that day, Bali, Bali. They're going to be calling Bali in. Because they're going to go to the judgment day, swan up and down. They knew him. And he going to tell you to your face, I never knew you. Peep it. Have we not prophesied in thy name? Prophesied in your name. If they prophesied in the name that he tells them at the end of it all, depart from me, I never knew you, then that lets you know what works and what blessings and what power was that behind that name. Wasn't of the Most High's. Oh, there was some power, all right, but it wasn't of the Most High, because he said you were working iniquity. Which one on this earth works iniquity? The lawless ones. That's who. Surely not the chosen. And in thy name have cast out devils. And in thine, so you cast out devils, huh? You worker of iniquity. Think about this, family. When you read all these things, read it with the mindset of what the Most High is calling it. Don't be pressed. Don't be jumping the gun. Hold the phone. And in thy name done many wonderful works. All in his name. They stating right here. And then guess what? You can imagine them. They're probably saying it real proud, real bold. Guess what he gonna tell them? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. So those who work iniquity, it doesn't matter what feeling, experience, none of that stuff you got going on up inside your little body. It don't, dreams, prophecies, work, none of it matters if you're not obeying his word, period. Period. Point blank in the period. Straight up. And you know what his word is? Not what pastor's been teaching out here. Not what none of these simple wolves, these liars, Kenneth Copeland's, Creflo Dollars, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, CBN, TBN, lying camps, self-idolaters, unrepentant ones. The works that you're manifesting is the works of iniquity. That's the works you're doing. And guess what? The more you obey Satan, the more power he gives you to keep on disobeying. Like he told the nations over here in Job 9:27 or 24. How did he tell them that? Well, simply by doing this. When he took the Mashiach up on the mount, or when he was taking it out there, tempting him, when the Mashiach spoke against him with the word, you can tell Donald Trump and the rest of these leaders ain't using the word to rebuke Satan or the fallen. They're actually agreeing. They took the glory. They took the power. They took the knowledge and the wisdom of the fallen. They didn't want the Most High. They didn't want his blessing. So he said, okay, you don't want my blessing? Well, it wasn't for you to know how, because guess what? I knew you before I formed you. And guess what? I knew where you were going to end up. And guess what? I know where you're going to go. How about that? So you can do what you want to do. Speak how you want to speak. Harass my children all you want to with your folly and your little needles and stuff. Trying to kill off everybody over in the melanated country. All you want to, you colonizing devils. And I assure you, you ain't doing nothing but digging your daggone grave to eternal death further and further. Because you can't change his word. Because if you come over here, it says, though heaven and earth may pass away, his word is everlasting. It shall endure forever. Period. Now, let's get back to Deuteronomy 28. Check this out, verse 12. And the Most High shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. You already said, you shall be the lenders and not the borrowers. So they're the ones. So who's the face and the names behind the banks right now, family? Who is the names and the faces behind the bank? I'll tell you who. The same ones who funded the slave ships. That's who. The same ones that got blood on their hands and on their wealth. That's who. And the same ones with their blood on their hands and their wealth. With their bloody money, they're not going to be able to buy themselves out of this one, just like Judas. And you know what the Mashiach said to Judas? It would have been better that you were not born. See, Judas was an example to you nations out here who wanted to put your hand on the very one to feed. Because guess what? The Mashiach was feeding all 12 of them. He said, although I feed all of y'all, one of you is a devil. Although we're ministering and bringing this truth out on whichever way we feel that the Father tells us to do it, it's always a devil. They want to put their mouth on the Lord's and the Most High's work. And even to the extent where they'll go out their way to get in bed with those that are trying to kill us. Do what you got to do, devil. But I guarantee you, you're going to hang yourself in the end. By the very rope you tied for somebody else. Your little feet going to slip right up on in there. You and your children. Your whole household. Because whatever you reap, it always comes back worse than what you sown. He said, we shall not borrow. You know what these wicked devils, you know who those are of Job 9:24? You know the wicked, who the earth has been given to the wicked. You know what they say? Nuh-uh. They ain't going to be lending to us. They going to be borrowing from us. So what y'all did was basically try to give his children. Not only did you keep us from our Father, but you said, I'm going to share this wicked wealth with your children. Like as though we were going to be defiled by what you did. I was laughing at you, said, no, not so. See, they're already redeemed. No man can get them out of this because my word is going to be the only thing to get them out of this. The very thing that you try to keep them from is going to be the very thing to deliver them. How you like me now is what he's saying to them. Look around, Gentile nations. Your very leaders who look just like y'all, telling y'all, they might have a few token manly butter biscuits up there for our people talking to, but they're going to be dealt with. Yeah, they look around. They got your people telling y'all, if you mention anything about vitamin C and turmeric on YouTube, you will be banned. What that tell you? 1 minute don't wear a mask, the next minute wear a mask. We come up with a vaccination. Do they honestly look around? Everybody in the creation, all the humans wearing masks. Why? What's next? You gonna put masks on? I don't see nobody putting masks on their dogs and their cats. All you white people, I'm trying to be funny, but this is real rap. All you Caucasians and people who wearing these masks, why you ain't putting no mask on your dogs and your cats? After all, it started off with the animals, didn't it? So you say it started off with the animals, didn't it? With the bats and all that, didn't it? For those who eat the unclean foods, I'm going to tell you, the last one standing are going to be those who keep his word. You got that right, because guess what? The ones that keep his word, they're not going to put nothing defiled in their body. And if there's something that you try to contaminate, it won't curse. Because guess what? The word says you cannot curse those who he blessed. So if you curse in food and they're partaking in it, these signs shall follow them which believe. Did you forget that one too? I want you all, you Gentiles, to know something real clear. Keep watching this channel to the point your ears can't take it no more. Because you're getting all kinds of rebukes upside the left jaw and the right jaw and the core body. We were not put on this earth for y'all to like us or agree with us. No more than a Mashiach came down from his heavenly home to come down here to be liked and to be attractable and to be relatable. He was come down here to be the truth. Because the truth is the truth, and it is what it is. So whatever problem you got with us, you really got with the Creator. How about that? Because the Creator don't look like y'all. So we're allowed to have a problem with y'all. You know what our problem really stems with y'all about? If you look at the history of Jacob, he always tried to make peace with Esau. He always felt wrong about what he was doing. He was not a thief. He wasn't wicked. He two different manners of people. So when we read about the manner of Jacob, you got to believe the exact opposite for you Edomites. Yep, they're fleeing now. Got that right. Some of them listen, not because they believe. Some of them listen. It's like they have, there's another part of the Edomites too, family. And these other wicked nations is that they have this thing inside. I think the Most High did it to torment them. Most High is he has a sense of humor. He put something inside of them that because they like to lie, but they can't deny the fact they have a desire to want to hear truth, to try to find a way they can try to twist it. That's the only reason majority of the time they really want to hear truth. To find a way how they can pervert it, to find a way how they can debunk it, to find a way how they can speak against it. Because they were going this long with Christianity and never questioned why those people or African Americans were slaves. They never, ever, ever asked, well, why were they in slavery? What was the reason for them to go through something like this? I mean, show me in history where it was at. Verse 13 of Deuteronomy 28. And the Most High shall make thee the head and not the tail. So we shall be lenders and not borrowers. Well, if we're the head and not the tail, then does that show you anybody equal here? Even if you believe, guess what? If you believe as a servant, you still gonna be the tail, is what he's telling you here. So what I'm about to start doing is, since I got a good old-fashioned, brand new printer, I say good old-fashioned, I like to say good old-fashioned. Since I have me a lovely printer here, I'm going to print out a questionnaire for any possible applicants to be servants to my people, my chosen people, when dealing amongst me or on this channel or in my lifestyle. You see, if we're going to be rulers, we got to get in practice on how to run things, how to show the Father that you can be trusted with little, he can trust you with a lot. And sit down and write some questions that you would like to ask them. Say the Most High was to give you your servant right now. What would you do? How would you handle them? And how would you direct them and be their head if they're the tail? If you had to lend to them and they had to borrow, what would be your rules and regulations? Because let me tell you something. Banks will not give you no loan without wanting to know your last bowel movement, your auntie, cousin, nephew, them, if you got a pet dog, and where you stay at. So you servants that want to serve us and you want to be hidden and you want to be protected like you above the master, guess what? I don't need your service. Guess what else? My Father gonna deal with you. If you got a problem with me asking you questions, I ain't never been questioned like this before. Oh, guess what? You must ain't met. Well, guess what, sweetheart? You must ain't met a real one like me before. You can learn something new every day. And it's always a time for something different. Period. I'm going to show my other brothers and sisters who's serious about this, who really trying to get to the kingdom. Before you get to the kingdom, think kingdom-like. You are no longer a slave. Just like in the Harriet Tubman movie, when she got up to Philadelphia, the brother gave her an apple and said, now walk like you belong here. Walk like this is yours. Yep, that's right. Y'all see that land out there? That land ain't mine. It's under the hand of a thief right now. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to declare the word to my Father. Not declare. I'm going to remind my Father in righteous faith and say, Father, I think that land belongs to somebody else. What should we do about that? But your daughter declared the desires to plant and sow. If it's your will, allow it to be. All that. All that. Yep. Because the thief, when the master comes to catch a thief, he's got to run it up. That's right. Because the servants were never supposed to be ruling. Look around. See what happens when you let a servant run amok in your house? See? Animals dying and plagues on the earth. Doesn't it make sense, family? Yes, it does. So I'm going to come up with a questionnaire. And I'm going to ask you, first question is, how do you feel about what your ancestors did to my ancestors? What do you think should be done about that? Where did you find in the word that should be done about that? Let me see how many scriptures you provide me of recompense. How would you feel if you were to serve and he still deny you? See, certain questions that will show you a person's heart that you think might agitate them, you got to agitate and poke and interrogate to find out if that old nature's really dead. Because that's what they do to our people. In interrogation rooms. Turn us against each other. They ask you questions that make you try to tell your own self. Look what they did to our brothers in the Central Park 5. Look what they did to our brothers in the Central Park 5. Those young men, how they ruined their life. Have you ever seen a group of 5 white males' lives being ruined like that? Like 5 young white men ain't ever out somewhere doing something they ain't supposed to be doing? Why their lives ain't ruined like that? Those 5 lives, although they were exonerated, those men are still scarred. And those years they took from them, they can't give it back. Not no money, not no nothing can give it back. But see, Esau thinks, here, take a check and shut up. Oh, no. You're going to give me some money. And also, you're going to have to pay for that. Because the Most High says it's a righteous thing to trouble those that trouble you, right? And guess what? His judgment will still come to him. Even if y'all Gentiles call yourselves repenting and doing all this stuff, you still, if all can say, you still got to go into captivity. Some of them may think they can get out of captivity, like Judas, after he made the deal, right? And tried to get the money back. And they said, no, you can't put that money with us. So what they serve you with is really bloody money anyway. It really belonged to you anyway. So thank you for giving back to me what belonged to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Like they tell the American soldiers. Thank you for your service. Oh, that's some nerve. Oh, you want to know what some nerve is? You want to know what some nerve is? Some nerve is putting your hands on the chosen seed and treating us the way they did and thinking he was going to get away with it. I never did anything. No, you didn't. But guess what? He said he shall visit the iniquities of the 3rd and 4th generation of those that hate him. Your ancestors hate him. He's got to visit your generation. He's got to visit you. And if I look around quite clear, I'm going to go ahead and bring my camera here. With this here magnifying glass, I can see that he's visiting the iniquity on this earth. I can see quite clear. He's visiting. And they're still trying to kill us off. And they're still trying to torment and experiment on melanated people. And they're still trying to shut us up. Bill Gates and your funny looking self. And all the ones of your kind and your like and your such. Just know this, family. Remember Deuteronomy 28, verse 7. Whenever your enemies are coming up against you. If you turn on the news and you see somebody get shot or something, anytime something happens to our family, go through the crime, or if your family got killed, to all the loved ones, all the melanated, beautiful people out here on this earth. If you lost anybody due to these hospitals, malpractice, murder, deliberate murder, just know this. Recompense is coming on the behalf of the slaughter of his people. Don't you let them beat you down. Shed your tears. Wipe yourself off. Get on back up and go to Deuteronomy 28. I know you've heard it. You're hearing it. I try to look into that, the Israelite stuff. And it's a lot of people saying some doctrines and all this is bondage. Listen, tune everybody out and read it for yourself. Get to the part where it say, he will cause your enemies to flee that rise up against you, because they have risen up against us and taken Confederate Union, Psalms 83, against his hidden ones. If he said his hidden ones, then who are those who are blatantly walking around saying they are his people? See, his people was going to be hidden in the last days and then revealed and be woken up. They wasn't going to be called his people the whole time. Where is the prophecy for that? For these Jewish people? Oh, I know where their prophecy's at. Revelations 3:9 and 2:9. And Job 9:24. Who are the wicked and cover the faces of the judges? Because I don't care what kind of rabbi, if he's messianic or whatever his teaching is and how calm and docile and cute he comes across. If he can't tell you the melanated people are his chosen, he ain't giving you nothing. He can't tell you nothing. He's lying to you. He's in the bed with the synagogue of Satan to keep that Psalms 83 Confederate Union of destruction of the real chosen ones, to keep it going so that we can be the tail and not the head. When you read in Deuteronomy verse 13 of chapter 28, he said, and the Most High shall make thee the head and not the tail. Are we not the tail? Then what would that tell you? We have not been hearkening to the voice of the Most High to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. It's quite simple. Obey him, be blessed. Disobey, be cursed. And disobedience, sin, is a requirement of death. And his son already died. So he going to require your blood at this point. Don't you think these wicked ones could care less if he killed you? They already marked for death. They're already marked for death. So they're going to try to take as many as us with them. The devil is a lie. You dirty dog rats ain't going to get as many as you. No, you're not going to get us no more. As long as there's air and breath in my lungs, I'm going to blow the shofar and I'm going to declare that Zion, wake up and get out of this slumber. This is not a game. We're declaring to be back as the head, and these nations, these filthy nations, to be the tail. And to stop feeding us their filth. And thou shalt be above only. He said, only you going to be above. Ain't going to be no. So this is another rebuke to the fake Jewish people, because do you see the Jewish people being the only ones ruling on the earth? They got other ones, other branches of Edomites. They got a little bit of power. We're going to share some power with you. We're going to share some power with you. We're going to share some. No, he said his chosen people shall only be ruling above. That's heaven. Heaven ain't no little cloud living dwelling place. Heaven is being in rulership. That's what the kingdom is all about. The chosen seed ruling these wicked nations. They didn't tell you that, though. They told you that you was going to be in the clouds and get you some wings and float around and la. Think about it. Who really wants to be up there? The only way to get up there is if you die. So they make it seem like they're in a better place, but how you know they're in a better place? You want to know what's a better place? A better place is ruling in righteousness rather than this wicked rulership. That's a better place. Not have to look over your shoulder. Not have to worry if your loved one is sick and you take them to the hospital, they get murdered on purpose. Not have to worry if your children be going to school, they're going to be called NIGGERs and picked on and bullied by these very dogs and Neanderthals, cave beasts. That's right. That's what you are. It's not nobody being mean. That's what you are. A zebra can't change his stripes. You don't change. You're still a dog. Even the Mashiach called them dogs. It's not being mean. It's telling the truth. And if thou shalt not be beneath, he said, and thou shalt not be beneath if thou hearken unto the commandments. Always remember this. I will not be beneath as long as I keep his commandments. So if I don't keep his commandments, I'm going to fall beneath. And not only are you going to be, but you're going to be beneath dogs. Oh, come on. How bad can we get? These nations are already low. So the chosen seed fell lower than low. Because we're supposed to be above them. And he says, stay down there. Stay down there. Don't keep his commandments. Stay down there. Not only that, if you try to keep the commandments, we'll say this name. Okay, if you want to keep his commandments, let's add some Judaism up in here. Come on. Let's put our trademark all up in y'all stuff so you don't even know that you still following me. Okay, first we was laughing at the Christians, but they're coming in our front yard, family. Let's find a way to, oh, great, come on in, have some lemonade. The lemonade is poisoned. Come on in. Drink one glass, everything's good, because they want to slowly dose the poison to you. Just put a little tiny bit. That was good. Can I have some more? Sure. You like that? Here's some more. Oh my goodness. I'm feeling a little, that's just how it is sometimes. How about you sit on down? I'll give you another glass with some water to flush it even quicker into you. Or matter of fact, just stand by. Eat some of these abominable foods here we have for you. My famous Southern pie. My favorite, what is it? Meatloaf. All kinds of aborted bodies and all kinds of nonsense. Now I'm giving y'all some examples of, things that can be extreme, but reality is this is how they try to keep us down. This is what they're doing to us, poisoning us in every possible way. And so that's why we have to lean on the Most High and our own with His understanding, not our own. And in all our ways, acknowledge Him. He will direct us. He will direct us, not these dogs. Stop eating out of the hands of dogs. It's time out for these dogs, man. If thou hearken to the commandments of the Most High, thy power, okay, the Most High, I hire, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them. The last thing he basically said was go after other gods. What was the main thing that made us fall? Other gods. This is why it's so important. This is why the rebuke must be driven on the names and knowing whom you serve. Like he told the woman at well, we worship and you know not who you worship. That's how you know that whole chapter. He was addressing her idolatry. He wasn't just addressing her being a whore. But when we hear that story, the only gratification that man could ever give us was that she was a physical whore. They never addressed that she was into spiritual idolatry. And that woman at the well was supposed to be representing the Most High's chosen. When you see women in the word, it's really representing his body, his people. When the Mashiach caught, what's in John 8, when they brought the woman of adultery, they brought her to the Messiah, the living word. What did he do? He said, where are your accusers? Let me tell you something. You know what he was saying to us? Like in this moment now, look around, my people. They kept accusing y'all and dogging y'all out. Now, where they at now? Are they able to talk? No, because guess what? They're dealing with the curses now. Now they're dealing with confusion of face. Now they're dealing with their babies being taken. How? By death. The men shooting themselves in the heads, shooting their veins up. Their children dealing with codeine and heroins and all this opioid stuff because they did the crack cocaine to y'all. See, look around, children. Where are your accusers at now? There's none, Father. It's quiet. You're absolutely right. Now go and sin no more, my people. Now don't go serve these other deities no more, my people. Hearken to his word in this moment that you're in your home. If you've been feeling the need, even after this video, to no longer watch certain people on YouTube, obey that hearkening, obey that voice, and start putting your face in this word. Let him comfort you like how he did the woman at when it was caught in adultery by herself. And the woman at the well, he revealed himself to her. He said, I am he that speaks to you. I am he. Can you imagine how she ran? This is the living word. This is him, family. He never left us. He came in another form to us. He's been here all along. We have no need to be going off to these other deities and other rituals and celebrations and stuff. Really, what does those holidays really give you? Nothing but stress and a broken pocketbook, broken account, trying to keep up with the Joneses and all that. Come unto him, he say, all ye who are heavy laden, and he'll give you rest from all their mess, because they mess will wear you out. Wear you out, so you running to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. Before you know it, you've been taken by the cares of this world. He said, take heed that you be not consumed with the cares of this world. Don't overconsume yourself even too much with the news to try to keep up with every little thing that's going on. It's okay to every now and then tune in, but they're feeding you junk. They're feeding you lies. Even the nurses said the government's not even contacting them. They don't even know what's going on. They have no idea what's going on, and they're not reporting the real amounts of deaths. Guess what, family? I thought Trump said he was going to make America great again. You know what he was basically saying? Pharaoh's like, remember when Moses went to Pharaoh and the first time he said, I'm going to put extra labor on your people. That's what Donald Trump was saying when he said, I'm going to make America great again. In other words, I'm going to put you, the Hebrews, to work. I'm going to put you, children of the chosen one, children of the creator. I'm going to put y'all to work more than any of them. What are you talking about? Work, 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 work. That's all they ever talked about. Work, 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 work. But for the main ones, who was the main workers in this country? We were. Who was the benefits? Although they might have some token white people, okay, bottom, okay, yeah, it's all right, we get it. But for the most part, we built this country on blood, sweat, and tears. And you got your little white supremacist ones want to flare up their neck and tell us, go back where we came from. Go back where we came from. Do you understand if we went back, you wouldn't have majority of the things you got today, you ungrateful brats? And I said, like my one brother said in that one video, if we go back, everything we brought here and we invented is coming with us. Not nothing, not no salt need to be left here because you're unflavored behinds, unseasoned behinds, don't know nothing about no. He said we're the salt too, so give me that. Keep your little funny looking bland Brussels sprouts and carry on. I'm gonna put it to you like this. My G, she's harsh and she's mean. Let me tell you something. Oppression makes a wise one mad. The oppression of my brothers and sisters has really angered me. And guess what? Until I see my beautiful brothers and sisters happy, rejoicing in righteousness, we're still in oppression. Oh, but we're not really in oppression. So I don't really have a need to be mad. But I'm mad because there's some of my brothers and sisters who are not waking up. And so their rebellion angers me. It hurts me because of their rebellion, it puts their beautiful children at risk. It puts our nation at risk. And it puts us as a body, as a people, and neighborhoods and families at risk. When all we have to simply do is obey what he said in his word. And we will no longer be borrowers, but that we'll be the banks. Which his word is far better than gold. So what's your bank? So what's your status in the kingdom? Now they say, what's your status at the bank? What's your status in the kingdom? What's your status in his word? Where do you stand? For faith, after all, is a substance of things hoped for, the substance. But is your faith in error? Are your works according to Matthew chapter 7, verse 22? Are your works and faith? Are they according to iniquity? And if you don't know what I mean, go to Deuteronomy 28 and see where you line up in that. And let his spirit speak to you. So I thank you for tuning in, watching this message, to whomever this message gets to. I pray it sows a seed in your life and that it brings forth harvest in its due season. We're not promised tomorrow, nor are we promised the next hour. So as long as you have life, speak life, be life, and obey the Most High, who is the creator and giver of life, who killeth and maketh alive. Fear him in such a manner. And to you Gentiles out here, don't boast against the branches. And the branches are the real chosen seed of the Most High. The Blacks, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. The melanated people. The ones you despise and you spit on and overlook. If you even been a person who received benefit of supremacy, you're guilty of the one who made the very act. If you knew you got a position in the job and you didn't deserve it, and you didn't do the right thing, and everything you got was because of that supremacy, it's coming down. After all, every single Caucasian child today, your parents have all handed you the wealth of the wicked. They're all thieves, and that makes you a thief. So if you're not breaking your back to give that to whom it belongs, you're guilty of the same sin, which are those who beat our backs in. Shalom.